Kunyamaza kwetu kimya sio kosa cha kufanya. You gotta know that. Sababu naongea na wewe, you gotta know what to say. You gotta know, I know. 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 Tuko tunasema no. Na jana na leo siasa ile mtoto Afrika kimama na kisha useme no. You gotta know, I know. 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 Tuko tunasema no. Na jana na leo siasa ile mtoto Afrika kimama na kisha.
So, Blackman, what are the messages in your music?
The message I have in my music is peace, changement,
Change?
change, and sing about women.
Women?
Women, yeah, women.
Yeah. And so the change for Congo or for what? Change for what?
The change we're gonna begin from Congo to the world.
Awesome. That's awesome. Okay. And if you could stand on a stage in front of all of Congo, what would your message be to your people?
The biggest message I have, la richesse du Congo n'est pas dans les sous-sols. Ah non, c'est pas ça.
Say it in French.
In French?
Yeah.
Let me say, la grandeur du Congo ne dépend pas de superficie, mais elle dépend de ses habitants. That is the biggest message.
Tiviat beat. Gega tafta wa parop. Yeah. City chicken na sauti. Menjo pop wa sauti. City chicken na sauti. Menjo papu wa sauti. Wana kwa gezi na pande na shuka mupoko tasema you join flow. Wana kwa gezi na pande na shuka mupoko tanita binja flow. Ha, ikipaka pana kila stara na chana. Sina utoto kuwape na rope na pana tafuata slow na flow. Mano sipendo utasema wo. Hii sauti ni zaidi ya goli. Inawarusha na jumbe kwali. Menjo na beba bendera ya ruape. Bado ningali na represent. Rakeba usijo mwenye kiti. Kama unapinga uliza babako. Hata kwa rifu misiko manzako. Na wanda mana hizi flow. Siona makino kusema fyo. Hata vikozo na tetemeka. Hii sauti kitatalika.
Ça fait un mal. Ça fait un mal. Ça fait un mal. Ça fait un mal.
Africain sera son identité.
Ça fait un mal.
Faudrait qu'il ait une
Ça
solution.
fait un mal.
On a une vision.
Ça fait un mal.
À vous les assassins. Aux ennemis de la paix. À vous les hommes tribaux. Je ne veux pas te voter quand je manifeste.
Blackman began to tell me his story. I wanted to know more about this man who constantly puts himself in danger by publicly opposing those in power with the hope of bringing a real, sustainable change to Congo. Blackman himself was born out of rape. His father was a killer who left his mother to fend for herself. And commonly thought to be a curse, babies of rape were unwanted and discarded. So he was raised by his grandmother. When she finally told him what happened, he cried for days. Not knowing how to talk about it, he began to write, and soon he found his voice. He told me that his friends invited him to a talent show at UJN, a local organization that transforms lives by helping individuals discover and express their God-given talents. Not only did he win, but he was inspired by what they stood for. He began to faithfully attend their leadership classes, and that is where he not only learned that he could quite literally become the change that he wanted for Congo, but that he could lead his people there through music. He told me that all musicians should be responsible for the things that they sing, and just like his pastor and mentor, Camille Ntoto, he wants to change the musicians' way of thinking. Blackman raps about women's rights, peace, and the global community using biblical principles. Blackman is not a man driven by money, but by peace and knowledge. The first time I actually met him, I found him teaching computer science to a group of women at UJN, which he continues to do to this day. He wants to one day create a cultural center where he can host peace conferences and humanitarian concerts. His desire is for global peace, but he knows that it begins in Congo, it begins in Goma, and it begins in his very own home.
This is my food, our lunch of today. That is Tate preparing for that. The beans. We're gonna eat.
And you work out?
Okay. I doing the sport. But this is my house.
You would think that he would be different because everyone seems to know him and love him, but he is filled with kindness and humility. He invited us to his house that he shares with his grandmother, and it was so obvious that he was just a normal man. A normal man who was tired of his people living in fear and oppression. Blackman's story is a story of boldness and courage. He is the mouthpiece for the vulnerable and the poor in front of some of the most ruthless people on earth. I believe that God made him a leader. He gave him a voice and he gave him a message, and soon the whole world will listen.
Bausi, mbona sisi wanamke hatuelewi tena? Tunataka tujiue. Itajila watadari kuna mke wa fulani tadana faraka mimi. Habikamate anafara kishimbo. Habikamate pemzeli ba. Mwacha iko pepo. Mafuta misha kusha kukolo na nichekesha. Nani njome kwa refu mina ujishaka mafuta. Mina kupenda lakini sija kuoa. Itadi zako wanda bebia baba. Kipindi hizi siku uimeza ni nini.
Temesha kwisha kwa kolu na nichekesha. Nani njome kwa refu mina ujishaka mafuta. Mina kupenda lakini sija kuoa. Hitaji zako wende bebea babako. Hipiti yesi siku mulisha jikomalisha. Hamweshimie wazazi njomana mnakufa mbio. Hamupendi ambiliwa, hamupendi shauriwa, hamupendi kutumiwa. Kwani munafahamu hata baba yako akamua kukuima kitu utalomba master yako.
Erinyuzie mafuta.
Misiko irresponsable swazi ya puye betize. Wende wambie babako. Munapenda lomba lomba wakati wanabalomba nye munashindwa imana. Kisha mnabeba mimba mwisho mnetupa mchowe. Siku ya kiyama utambia Mungu nini?
Blackman cherry, baby.
Na kukemea nani njo naita bebe. Siko beba kila mtu niko bebe watate. Wende kwa wale wanaume ambao wanashindwa komala. Wanajita mabebe, wanaume kama mademu wanenda wakibibe. Tomana kichwa kigumu na zidi wachapa fima kila wanapoinuka.